Hello everyone, I am Lenin, Assistant Professor of English, St.Joseph's College of Arts and Science, Cuddalore. Through this video content, this time we are going to learn about the development of novels in the history of English literature. Development of English novels. As we are all aware of, there are four types of literature. One is poetry, prose, drama, and fiction. The fourth type, the recent type which added glory to the literature, is nothing but novels, sometimes called as fiction. What is a novel, first of all? It's a device, literary device, to present a picture of life lived in a given society against a stable background of social and moral values by a person or a people. It is a photographic representation of life. It captures life. It reflects life. The novel presents a work of prose fiction, portraying in one or more plot, lying in the interrelationship of number of characters. Novel is nothing but interrelationship which promotes the life of so many people involved in the story. Development of English novels. The modern European novel developed out of the Italian Renaissance through the short novel form called novella, which was pioneered by Boccaccio through his work Decameron. So it was the first literary work which paved way for the growth of novels. Actually, it happened in England during the time of Chaucer through his Troilus and Cressida, a long narrative work in the 14th century. Since Chaucer was a finest product of Renaissance, he copied the form. He was influenced by Italian Renaissance, Greek and Roman literature, and he did the same in England through his Troilus and Cressida. The age of Elizabeth, 15th century, is related to the rise of prose romance. A romance is a fictional story in which a verse or prose that relates to improbable adventures of idealized characters. Thomas Nash, one of the university wit, through his The Unfortunate Traveller or The Life of Jack Wilton, might be called the first English novel. It was written by, it was composed by Thomas Nash, followed by Thomas Decker's The Stories and Description of London Life and the Suffering of London People during the play in the early period of 17th century. As far as English novel is concerned, as we are all aware of, as we all recognized, Daniel Defoe had been regarded as the founder of English novel, even though Thomas Nash has produced Life of Jack Wilton. Two works of Daniel Defoe, Robinson Crusoe and Wallflounders. These two works became the seminal works in learning prose, in learning fiction, in learning English novels all throughout the time. Especially Robinson Crusoe made a benchmark influence in all prose forms in English literature with its impact, influence, subject treatment, theme, and language. Daniel Defoe, through his work, wrote picaresque novels which deals with the life of a wandering rogue. The subjects, the characters were not noble, they were not kings or princes, but they were roaming rogues, wandering rogues, people who were outcast from society, people who were not accepted by society, people who were not given due importance in society. They just wander for the livelihood. They don't have any home, residence, anyone to look after, or who can be called rightly as a platform dweller. This type of picaresque novel remained popular till the days of Smollett and Henry Fielding, writing with the style of rogue, writing with the style of picaresque. In the picaresque novels, the protagonists are rascals and they lead a wandering life, having many adventures and last scandalous. They were not given any specific due importance or due recognition all through the novels. They do not have any recognized objective or aim to be achieved in their lives. They just live life as it is. They just roam. Now, how the form novels developed, witnessed a huge success in the 18th century. Epistolary novels. During the 18th century, the habit of writing letters became very popular and it gave birth to epistolary novels. Epistolary novels are nothing but communication through letters. How letters have become the source of novel. It is very evident if you see in Sherlock Holmes, Arthur Conan Doyle's novels. Sherlock Holmes' friend Watson, he wrote letters. He recorded letters. Letters became one of the major form of novel promotion, epistolary novels. Richardson's Pamela in the 18th century can be regarded as one of the best epistolary novels which requisites of plot, characters and dialogue, and these were of high merit. Henry Fielding's Tom Jones is an established form of novel in its maturity. The novels which you come across, for example, Troilus and Cressida, Robinson Crusoe, Moll Flanders, Henry Fielding's Tom Jones, Richardson Pamilas, these are all iconic novels, novels which created great impact among readers. Smollett's Roderick Random reverted to the picaresque manner. Burns wrote Tristram Shandy and made the novel sentimental, fantastic and founded a sentimental school of writing. The research into national affairs gave birth to the study of history, and historical novels were written. Authors such as David Hume, Robertson and Henry Gibbon are important names in this genre. Novels during the 19th century, Victorian England. It was none other than the great grandma of English novel, Jane Austen. With all her domestic novels, her first novel, Pride and Prejudice, was the greatest success, which had been published in the 1813. She focused on the middle class people of London. The heroine Elizabeth Bennet is a girl of spirit, but she had no extraordinary qualities. especially financial aspects. Her second novel, Sense and Sensibility, deals with romantic possibilities, but at the end, the heroine remains undeceived. Features of Jane Austen novels. Her characters are developed with minute and accuracy. They are extraordinary people, but are convincingly alive. Her plots are not romantic, they are unromantic. She always deals with domestic purpose. She wants the daughters of parents to be married. She wants a family which could provide her safety and concern. She is be remembered for her clear and intelligence. The novel during the 19th century, the form novel achieved prominence and dominance in the 19th century with the writings of none other than Dickens. It was a golden time of novel writing. Charles Dickens and other writers found a huge audience focused on the issues of the time, especially workhouses, workplaces. That was a time England went in success, developments, and victories in all walks of life, especially industry and technology. Dickens' works, Oliver Twist, Hard Times, Bleak House, are preoccupied with social problems. He picturizes the element of poverty, and his hopes for improvement gave a new twist. Thackeray's Tom Jones, Vanity Fair, proved the genius of Thackeray's mastermind. This book chiefly concerned with the fortune of protagonist Vicky Sharp, but it reveals the vanities of mankind in general. Vanities, the show-offs. Thacker will be known for his humor and pathos. He is sentimental and usually sedate. The Bronte sisters, Charlotte Bronte, Emily Bronte, and Anne Bronte. Charlotte wrote her important novels The Professor and Jane Eyre. These two works, especially Jane Eyre, brought her an energy and passion that gave to commonplace and beauty of the romantic world. Emily Bronte, her novel Wuthering Heights, is unique in English literature. Majority of the universities prescribe this work of peace for the style, for the theme, and characterization. The passions of the character have been elemental, which carries them into realms of poetry. Of course, Anne Brand's important figure of the three, have also my sisters. Here comes George Eliot, George Meredith. George Eliot's work, Adam Bede, Mill on the Floss, Savage Mariner, they always deal with the tragedy of ordinary lives. Whereas George Meredith, the egoist, reached the climax of his art. He was very careful to make his female characters at least important as men. Here comes Thomas Hardy, the inimitable writer of all the times. He started to write at the end of the 19th century. He picked up ordinary men and women close to the soil. He was a serious novelist attempting to preview of life through fiction. His important works are Mayor of the Castle Bridge, Tess of the Tubervilles, and Jude Dubsky. 20th century novels. 20th century literature focused mostly on psychological themes. Henry James, in Procession, brought a new complex ideas in description of the mind. The theme of isolation of the individual became very conscious in each and every part of literature, and thereby the emergence of stream of conscious novel. 20th century novel is keenly focused on the relationship between loneliness. E.M. Foster especially developed the theme of human relationship in his novels deliberately. Passage to India described the relation between the English and the Indians with all its limitations. He is an advocate of culture, tolerance, and civilization against barbarity. Foster defines a novel as a prose work having seven aspects universal to the novel: story, characters, plot, fantasy, prophecy, pattern, and rhythm. These are all aspects of novel according to Foster. Foster worked on the relationships, man, woman, and instinct and intellect. D.H. Lawrence, whose work inspired most of the English writers in the 20th century, who always deals with man and his environment. His novels discuss the issue of relationship as a basis of a true sexual relationship. Joseph Conrad, one of the most acclaimed as well as sensitive writer of 20th century, he showed how material interests corrupt human mind and relationships. His novels like Nostromo, Heart of Darkness, Under Western Eyes are notable to study his outlook. Virginia Woolf, another important noteworthy writer in 20th century, in her novels Mrs. Delavan to the Lighthouse, worked on the finest treatments of the problem of loneliness and love. There is always an effective interview of lyrical narrative devices all through her works. Realities for her are inward and spiritual. James Joyce, Irish novelist, experimental writer, works like Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, Ulysses are notable for the narratives. Aldous Huxley, another important 20th century writer, modern writer, who gave importance to relationship between loneliness and love. He can be also called as interwar period writer who explored knowledge, value. He is known for his work Brave New World. Above all, he is a satirist, polished style with a ready-wit and alert mind. To conclude, the novel in the 20th century manifested disillusionment, cynicism, despair, and bewildered mind of the age. Hope this analysis of novel would give you a clear picture for proper understanding and better learning. Some serious novelists started to work on new and they wanted to replace the old. Impressionism, Expressionism, outward appearance, inner realities of life were also focused. Stream of consciousness technique became the order of the day, and it was rightly used by acclaimed writers in most of the works.